Hello everyone, Zakiziel here, and tonight I'll be reacting to 5ish Minute Lore Episode 16 Argel Tal by Old Man Reacts. As always, I highly recommend that you check out Old Man Reacts content. A link to the original video will be in the description box below. And sorry about the delays in doing more of these reactions. Things come up, that's how it goes. But without further ado, let us begin.
General Medicaid warning. The views expressed in 5ish Minute Lore, the lore delivered in rants, are sanctioned by their scholar Progenium as excess rageous. Prolonged exposure can result in loss of IQ, high blood pressure, random outbursts, and blunt force trauma to the skull, resulting in unconsciousness. Please consult your local physician for more information.
Captain of the Serrated Suns chapter of the Word-Bearers 7th Assault Company, Argel Tal. A prime example of a man who is a terrible, horrible person, but is somehow still the most likable individual amongst all of his brethren. Truly,
Well, he is a word bearer.
Argel Tal's entire existence is difficult to explain. To put it bluntly, I'm going to have to be excessively careful in the way I describe certain things because if you thought the Lilith video had a lot of lines that could be taken out of context, oh, you're in for a treat. Let me just throw out a single line that'll let you know what we're in for with this guy. He was recruited directly by Erebus. Argel Tal was born on
So he's already sus, got it.
Cultus, and Erebus wanted the young Argel to be a chaplain just like him, but Argel had different plans. Upon rejecting Erebus and joining a battle company, he did very well at distinguishing himself.
So Erebus wanted to groom this guy into basically Erebus 2.0 by the sounds of it. Or just a pawn. Probably a pawn.
Much though that at some point he was elevated to the captaincy of the 7th Battle Company of the Serrated Suns chapter of the Word-Bearers. That's right, Robote Gilliman. The chapter system was invented by fucking Lorgar!
Which I also find it funny how Lorgar is the one who created the Imperial Truth. And the fact that it's so widely propagated within the Imperium means that Lorgar kinda won when you think about it.
We really don't hear much about Argel Tal up until the point that Robote shows up on Monarchia and pulls a game workshop because on Macragge, Gilliman had copyrighted the word chapter for his book Codex Astartes and he was showing up with the Emperor to execute an NDA. Monarchia was promptly wiped off the face of the planet. But don't worry! Lorgar and his legion are about to be told they can definitely still work for the Imperium as long as they don't use any symbols, heraldry, names, places, rites, voxcasts, or holovids that depict the Emperor of Mankind as a god. No, I'm not bitter about the state of Warhammer 40k animations. Everyone knows what happened at Monarchia. While Argel Tal was standing around looking at the Ultramarines, we find out that frankly no one likes Corpharon, go figure. The shaming of Lorgar happens, and while Erebus is laughing evilly in the background, Argel Tal finds a woman who got her eyes nuked out named Cyrene. Cyrene, before the nuking of Monarchia, was known as a Shush Ashla, which roughly translates to respectable hooker. He brought her along because he felt obligated and he put her in the quarters of the De Profundus, the flagship of his fleet. From that point onward, Cyrene would...
Wait, are those supposed to be statues or... Because those things remind me of those weird Adeptus, sorry, not Adeptus Mechanicus, wasn't the Adeptus Sororitas, I think, that turns babies into those weird cyborg cherub things?
Be there for him and the rest of the Serrated Suns to download all their insecurities onto. The good news was she wasn't rescued by the Emperor's children because at the end of the day, this story could turn rather awkward rather fast. So basically she was still a Shushul Ashana, but she went from sex therapist to therapist. Argel Tal also decided to make nice with some other new passengers who was sent by the Emperor, a few of the Custodians. In particular, he decided to make friends with Aquilon. Aquilon was the leader of the Custodians, sent to make sure that Lorgar and his legion were being a bunch of good boys and not doing anything stupid. Yeah, that lasted all of 20 seconds. After conquering the world, the Custodians literally had
So, prevent Erebus and Lorgar and all them from becoming the Space Catholic Church, basically.
Every gun in the Legion pointed at them after Lorgar basically told them that they were biological waste and that he was going to talk to his Legion alone, so they should fuck off. The Custodians didn't deem that worth reporting. Now, I'm not about to sit here and imply that Custodians were blind and stupid, because I would never say that about the greatest servants of the Emperor, but by the throne are they something that means blind and stupid! It was there that Lorgar hatched his master plot. That was all his idea, and had nothing to do with Erebus coming up with the plot, planning the plot, detailing the plot to him, and giving him the contingencies of the plot. Oh no, this was all Lorgar's idea. Fast forward, and Lorgar is chilling with Argel and Argel's fleet, and they just arrived on what...
Oh yeah, and as well as Corferon, or just Erebus Light.
The Cadia, and lo and behold, Lorgar and Argel, as well as a bunch of other word bearers, are on their way to watch a Cadian hippie jam band. Now, everyone knows Cadia as an Imperial Fortress world, but this was before Corvus Corax wanted to show Lorgar why a flock of crows is called a murder. Now, at this point, life gets interesting, because for some reason, Argel Tal only really noticed things were getting weird was when he went to see Lorgar watching a woman act like she was getting taken to Pound Town by something invisible. So, a space stripper. Also, it might have something to do with the blood sacrifices that were going on, but, who am I to judge? Argel Tal couldn't believe what was going on, and neither could one of the Custodians who just walked in! Alright, somebody explain this to me. Explain how the word bearers can be taken seriously as a legion when not one of them was sitting there looking outside of the tent. Everybody was just watching what was going on inside the tent, so much so that a 12-foot tall, gleaming golden statue managed to just walk into where they were, 20 feet from their Primarch. Now, I will talk all the shit in the world about the word bearers, but I'm not going to say anything about this particular custodian who went by the name of Vendatha. I'm not going to say he was a moron, but by the throne, he was a word that means the same damn thing. So basically, Vendatha walks in to a who's who of the word bearers and finds them watching blood sacrifices and softcore porn and instantly calls Lorgar a traitor. He then pulls the equivalent of this.
You're all under arrest!
He then...
I am expecting that just like how that went in that Looney Tunes cartoon, in that episode, that he got mobbed by the word bearers, and maybe not actually. Yet. Custodians are tough, very tough, but I doubt one Custodes is going to be able to take on the entirety of the word bearers.
Tells them if they try to pull their weapons, this goes from an arrest to an execution.
If you gotta be tough, you gotta be tough!
Well, Custodians are tough, but not tough enough to handle a room full of Space Marines. He got a sword through his mouth from Argel Tal from the trouble, and he was still alive. The space stripper started screeching that this event was ordained, and for some reason, even though everything was telling Argel Tal what he was witnessing was 9 to the 50th power completely fucked up, he just sat there and watched the Custodian get impaled up the ass with a spear. Then, the space stripper turned into a demon. At this point, I'm wondering if I'm watching the word bearers of the Emperor's children. The space stripper demon cut a deal that Argel Tal will be taken with a few friends into the Eye of Terror, and Lorgar actually asked if the space stripper demon would hurt them, and it said yes, and Lorgar agreed, because he's such a good guy. Argel Tal was...
He's like, are you going to hurt them? Yes. Well, that's okay. It's like, I understand Lorgar's reasoning for that about as much as I understand why the Custodes messed up so badly in handling this. But then again, there are so many moments when the writing for Warhammer 40k portrays characters in ways like having them do just absolutely inane things because plot contrivance.
Tasked with delivering a lie to the rest of the Custodians about how a bunch of tribal humans to whom the spear was high technology managed to kill a few word bearers and Vendatha himself. Now, I'm not gonna say the Custodians must have been high to accept this story, but what the hell, you get it.
I am not fucking drunk.
Can you tell the time?
Yes. I am not
fucking drunk.
So the space stripper demon named Ingathel takes Argel Tal into the Eye of Terror on a ship, tells him in front of the crew that she's going to kill the crew, shows him an Eldar world getting murdered by the birth of the Sinesh, and then shows him how Lorgar and the other Primarchs were made, and no, it doesn't involve Big E showing Erda the Big D, which has strangely taken on a whole new meaning since I wrote this script initially. I love you, Rufa Alvabutsa. Space Stripper Ingathel then lets Argel Tal know that he'll die sometime in the future under the shadow of Great Wings, and then drops another nugget of knowledge, which is something that shouldn't be that surprising considering what I've been saying so far. The 17th Legion, the Word Bearers, have a specific thing in their gene coding making them rabidly loyal to their Primarch. In short, the entirety of the 17th has daddy issues, and I mean extreme daddy issues.
Ruled by a vicious cycle of demonic possession and daddy issues. Sounds about right. And also explains why it is that. Well, that explains a lot, really, considering that if they have those rampant daddy issues towards Lorgar, that also explains why Lorgar has those same rampant issues towards the Emperor.
Pornhub levels of daddy issues. This is why Argel Tal and many of the more reasonable members of the Word Bearers have gone along with so much ridiculous crap and will continue to do so in the future. Argel Tal simply says, "Yes, Daddy," and does whatever Daddy Lorgar tells him to because he's literally programmed to. The entire reason the 17th is so unrelentingly in awe of Lorgar is all part of the damn plan. Basically, the Word Bearers are full of heavily muscled men who want to do whatever Daddy tells them to. My son, come watch this space trip with me and then beat up this guy and shove a spear up his ass. Okay, Daddy. Son, go into space with this weird creature that is promising to hurt you. Yes, Daddy. My son, you've got demons in you, but I want you to know that I'm proud of you. You handled it so well. Thank you, Daddy. Oh, by the throne, I am one more of those away from getting demonetized. Argel Tal then made the grand decision to destroy the Gellerfield on board the ship. True to her word, Ingathel massacred most of the crew and killed all of the Word Bearers, only to shove demons deep inside of them. At that point, Argel Tal was resurrected and uses the dead crew like beef jerky. After he gets back to real space, he goes and tells the truth about everything, but Daddy Lorgar is kind of worried that his boy is now so sassy with him. Argel Tal manages to hide the fact he's got demons inside of him from the custodians.
I cannot see, I'm legally blind. P.O.P. all the time. Right, these all good pimp squad, baby, for life.
Which, considering the custodians attached to the Word Bearer seem to have the situational awareness of a can of tuna, it doesn't surprise me. Who did he tell? Cyrene. At the same time, he was promoted to Chapter Master, and I hear Gilman in the background seething. You see, all the Space Marines who Daddy Lorgar allowed to get demons inside them got a new name, the Gal Vorback. For over 40 years, he flies around with the custodians and they never once catch on to the fact that he's possessed. All the while he's grabbing up other Word Bearers and putting demons in them because Daddy said so. Finally, though, Isfahan was happening and
You know, I reiterate what I said before. GW writers writing characters doing stupid things because plot contrivance.
the demons that were in the Word Bearers Gal Vorback came to the forefront in blistering apparency. Argel Tal could actually go blow for blow against a custodian, which is no mean feat for an Astartes. Just to give you a little bit of context, the typical custode could kill an Astartes in 3 hits from start to finish. So basically, the custodes having any kind of problems whatsoever with a Space Marine would be like a Space Marine having problems with a baseline human wielding a stick.
This is also reminding me of how I've heard about the Custodes being portrayed, how to put this, inconsistently in lore, such as cases where, one custodian who, due to the whole removing their armor and not using their weapons because they're mourning the death of the Emperor thing, or not so much death, but mourning him because they couldn't protect him and he's stuck on the Golden Throne. One of these guys takes on 10 Chaos Space Marines. I don't remember from which legion, but took on 10 of them at once. Bare hands, no armor, won. And yet, some other Chaos Space Marine was able to defeat the same guy one-on-one. And it's like, what? I don't understand. and aside from it just being a plot contrivance, or just to show that this named character is very powerful.
Suddenly, though, the custodians who were still on the ship, by the way, find out from a photograph that shit just got real and flat out murder Cyrene, which causes Argel Tal to murder them all back. At this point, Argel is starting to get along really well with his new friend in his head, the demon who was named Wrong. We next see our boy Argel being broached here with a swell guy named Karn before the betrayer was the betrayer, and I imagine their first meeting was something like this.
Oh, my dad is an idiot. Wait, you too?
Mood kindred.
Apparently the two of them met and decided their dads were both dumbasses, and from that understanding came a bromance the likes of which was rarely seen. At this point, we must reintroduce Erasus, the fuckwitted shit-gibbon himself who tells Argel his bro will get killed and then resurrects Cyrene to get Argel to trust him. Argel Tal was actually warned that Erasus would try something like this, but meh. Who cares about warnings? It's not like it's done him any good so far. So pretty much Argel Tal wipes himself out trying to keep Karn from getting shanked in the middle of a battle, and when Erasus comes up to supposedly give him 5,000 EXP for completing the Heresy side quest Save Your Bro, the entire time Rom is screaming at him to kill Erebus, right up until the point where Erebus stabs Argel Tal in the spine. Erebus killed him because in the end, if Argel Tal lived, Karn would not have become the betrayer. He would not have fallen fully to the influence of Khorne. And from the perspective of Erebus, the entire war would be lost. So basically, Erebus betrayed the betrayer's friend to make the betrayer the betrayer. Because if he didn't betray the betrayer's friend would betray the betrayer's betraying future. So the betraying of the betrayer's friend ensured the betrayer would betray the traitors and become known as the betrayer. What the fuck did I just say? Before he died, Argel Tal said that he was supposed to die.
That sounds like the kind of description that a Tzeentchian demon would give you of something.
In the shadow of great wings. Sure enough, he was in the shadow of the Imperial Aquila. Fuck Erebus!
Also, yeah, that was some Tzeentchian level contrivance Erebus had going there. But that also explains the motivations why Erebus wanted to kill Argel Tal in the first place. But that's why it was a fun watch as always, and if you guys enjoyed watching with me, I'd appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out Old Man React's channel and the original video. But for now, have a nice night. Bye everyone.